Om Satchidananda-rupaya Vishwotpatyadi-hetave Tapatraya-vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. Hari Om and greetings from Portland. Do you desire that which you don't believe in? If you don't believe in a certain food, you don't believe that it exists, would you desire it? Obviously not. We only desire that which we believe in. We don't desire that which we don't believe in. Our desires are a fine indicator, a true indicator of what we believe to be real, of what our reality is. If I have a desire for popularity, I believe the world to be very real, people's opinions to be very real, yes? Rishi Vyasa, until Bhagavatam, believed that bhakti is a means and not the ends. And Rishi Narada encouraged him to inquire that bhakti is actually the ends. And the same for all of us. We are Rishi Vyasa in this context. We too believe bhakti is the means that leads to jnana, when the truth is, bhakti is the ends. When we come to love bhakti, when we come to love the infinite, we will be happy. As long as we love the finite, we will never be happy. And when we love the infinite, we will be happy. And we have studied that chapters 7 through 11 are focused on the Mahabharata war. Chapter 12 is the birth of Raja Parikshita. This is where we have studied so far. And so we're clear about why we're going through this journey. We will again, and soon I'll stop reminding you, we will chant our ends mantra and means mantra. Janmadyasya yatonvayaditarataschaarteshvabhignaswarat Tene brahmahridaya adikavaye muhyanti yatsurayaha Tejo varimridam yata vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. We contemplate on the highest Tejo varimridam yatha, the creator, the conserver, the controller, is like light. And this light is shining to become like water. This light is shining to become like water. So automatically we think of a mirage. Trisargo Marisha, that we're experiencing this mirage This mirage is false. There is no water there. There is only light. The same goes with our experiences. We see males and females. We see happiness and sorrow, but there's only the Creator. There's only consciousness. This is what we're contemplating on. This is the ends of Bhagavata. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nitmatsaranam satam Vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrite Kim va parerishwaraha Sadyo hridyavarudyate trakritibi shushrushabhistachanat. By listening, in a moment, what can happen? Mahamuni-krite, the conceiver of all munis, the Mahamuni is Bhagavan Narayana. By listening, in a moment, all that Bhagavan Narayana has shared, the Mahamuni, this can be caught in our heart. Hridya varudya tetra, that Bhagavan will become so clear to us through our ears, through our mind, and will reside in our heart. So the ends is to know consciousness, and the means is through Bhagavan. In this first skanda, now chapters 13 to 15, the adhyayas, is post-war. 7 to 11 is pre-war. 12 is Raja Parikshita's birth. 13 to 15 is post-war. Post the war, Vidura, who is Dhritarashtra's brother. Vidura is actually an incarnation of who? Bhagavan Yama. He's an incarnation of Dharma. He shares with his brother, with his sister-in-law, that what are you doing? Why are you still in the world when you should be focused on, like we're learning, on the Creator? And Dhritarashtra and Gandhari have gone through so much. And it's too bad it's taken him this long to shift their focus from creation, that is their family, to the Creator, which is the original parents. And it shows that physical blindness, that intellectual blindness, but Vidura is there and he guides them to focus on the Creator. So Dhritarashtra leaves Hastinapura. Gandhariji leaves Hastinapura and Vidura goes with him, Viduraji. And it's so lovely because Dhritarashtra, whom we see in movies as always being blind and sad, he's enlightened. Gandhariji, she's enlightened too. Viduraji just wanders. He's free also. When Yudhishthira goes to their palace and Sanjaya is sitting there, and he asks, where? Where is my father, my mother, my uncle? And Sanjaya is feeling very sad that they're not there. But Yudhishthira comes to know that they've left and they're free. And Yudhishthira starts to practice the same too. He starts letting go of his responsibilities. He starts focusing on the Creator more solely. So this is all post-war happening. And now we'll read our first shloka for today's class. I'm on the first skanda, the 15th adhyaya, the 30th shloka. That's 1:15:30. We'll read line 1 and 2. Geetam Bhagavata Jnanam Yattat Sangrama Murdhani Kala Karmatamo Rudham Punar Adyagamad Vibhuhu. What is shared in this line is Prince Arjuna remembers what? Bhagavad Gita. At one point he had forgotten Bhagavad Gita due to Kala, time. Karma, acting, due to pleasure, but he remembers what Vibhuhu taught him. Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Viduraji. They've all left Hastinapura and they're enlightened. Yudhishthira is still in the kingdom. Arjuna has been away for 7 months from Hastinapura with Bhagavan Krishna. And Yudhishthira starts to observe in his people that there's so much more expression of vices. People are becoming angrier. People are becoming more violent. He's seeing in people's homes, there's more quarrels between parents and kids, between siblings. So Yudhishthira knows there's a change that's happening in creation. And that's why he's so concerned about where's Arjuna? How come Arjuna hasn't come back? And Arjuna does come back after 7 months. And he comes back emaciated. He comes back depressed. All of these descriptions are there. Our Prince Arjuna. You can imagine someone you can just see his bones, that he can't move. In fact, on his way back from Bhagavan Krishna to Hastinapura, he was defeated. He was defeated in battle by a group of farmers. He was trying to protect Bhagavan Krishna's family from leaving Dwaraka. And these farmers defeated Arjuna and stole all of those possessions. Our Prince Arjuna. What has happened is that Bhagavan Krishna has left his form. His name has now been erased from being manifest. And with him going, then all of Arjuna's support was gone. In fact, the families of Bhagavan Krishna all killed themselves. Without Bhagavan Krishna, who's that insulator of dharma, Arjuna was lost, the families were lost. And then Yudhishthira encouraging Prince Arjuna to come back. He remembered Bhagavad Gita. And in remembering Bhagavad Gita, it's called Smriti, correct? That which is to be remembered. He did come back. Prince Arjuna experiences enlightenment. His mother Kunti, who depended on Bhagavan Krishna, we studied that too. She's remembering Bhagavan Krishna so deeply, she's enlightened also. And then Yudhishthira also feels my uncles, my mothers, my brother, all of them are free, and here I am not free. So he and the rest of the brothers also, they begin deep sadhana. And part of this deep sadhana is to make Parikshita the Raja. So at the completion of chapter 15, that Parikshita that was born in chapter 12 is now crowned the king in chapter 15. In between, there's some details of him getting married. Who is Raja Parikshita's wife? Iravati. Iravati is his wife. I believe he has 4 sons. The eldest is known as Janamejaya. Janamejaya is his son's name. And he was a solid leader. Like Yudhishthira, like everyone in his lineage, particularly Bhagavan Krishna. And one time, when he was in his sabha, someone had reported that in this vast kingdom, in this Varsha, there is Kali. There is selfishness that has assumed a form. Now think carefully of this logic. Selflessness, the form is gone now, right? Bhagavan Krishna. So now selfishness has ample opportunity to take form. Kumati Nivara, Sumati ke Sangi. If Sumati's gone, Kumati's coming. If Kumati's there, Sumati's not there. So he just heard, that there is selfishness in his responsibilities. He's the Raja. And as soon as he heard that, he traveled everywhere to find that selfishness, to find that Kali. And that shows what inquiry is like. Pariksha means the one who is ever examining. The unexamined life is a life not worth living. The examined life is a life worth living. He's constantly introspecting, detecting, negating, correct? Now he's heard about Kali. He wants to negate Kali. He wants to substitute that with selflessness. This leads us to one of the most famous parts of Bhagavatam, which begins in chapter 16. And for all of those who have read Bala Bhagavatam, the yellow book, there's so much emphasis that's given on this. We will shift to the 17th adhyaya. And I'm on the 41st shloka. I will read lines 1 and 2. Ataitani na seveta buhpushu purusha kvachit Visheshato dharmashilo raja lokapatir guruhu. Which means, for someone who is a guru, for someone who is a pati, lokapati, a leader, a ruler, for them, they should not entertain, they should not allow any space for Kali. They should not entertain any thought of adharma, because those who are involved in dharma shila, to follow and protect dharma, they have to be more careful about this, about adharma. Okay? This is the meaning, but the lead up to all of this. When Raja Parikshita is traveling through his kingdom, he sees another king. And what is this king doing? Mercilessly, without mercy, kicking this bull, and 3 of those legs are crippled, and he's working on the 4th. And also kicking the cow that is beside that bull that is crying so much. And Raja Parikshita knows that this being is dressed up as a king. Because if he's the king, no king in his kingdom, no minister in his kingdom would be like this. So there's an imposter here. And there's really sad details in Bhagavatam about this. That bull is trembling. That bull is urinating as he's being kicked, and he's so afraid that 3 of his legs are broken and the 4th is about to be broken. Raja Parikshita sees this from afar, and he sees that cow and bull talking to each other. And that bull is asking the cow, "Why are you crying?" And that's a really lovely dialogue. Who should be crying here? The bull. Who should be asked, "Why are you crying?" The cow should be asking the bull, but the bull is asking the cow, "Why are you crying?" And that cow is saying, because no one's engaged in yajna anymore. If you remember from Ramayana, in Dwapar Yuga, in the period of Bhagavan Krishna, the primary means to enlightenment was puja or yajna. But now with Bhagavan Krishna gone, nobody's engaged in yajna. Nobody's thinking big. Nobody's serving divinity, humanity, society, community. The bull is told that there's a lot of misrule now. Those who are supposed to be ruling are themselves confused. So there's so much of misrule. Don't we observe that with our leaders? Don't we observe that with your leaders? And this is a lovely observation. Mother Earth says, I was going to get to that. That cow says, when Bhagavan Krishna's feet were on me, my hair would stand on end in excitement. That cow is actually Mother Earth. And how does the earth's hair stand on end? With vegetation. Easy, lots of growth. But with Bhagavan not being there, it's much harder to grow. It's much more scarce. We're seeing the same with forest fires, with famines, with global warming, if that's real. So perfectly described, all of this. Who is that bull? Dharma. And dharma means responsibility. So now all of you must pay close attention to what I'm going to be sharing now. One who is engaged, or one who is dharmic, one who is responsible, never cries. Which means they never criticized. Which means they never complain. As much as society is going to beat on them, and there will be fear, but they'll never give up. Mother Earth is crying, not dharma. It's so sad to hear about gun violence, to hear about corruption, but for the responsible person, you can't give up. Even if you have one leg, you stand on that one leg. These 4 legs are: number 1, tapa. Number 2, shaucha. Number 3, daya. And number 4, satya. Tapa, shaucha, daya, satya. Which leg is remaining? Which is being broken right now? Satya. Again, I'll make a connection here. That 4th leg is going to be broken. That's when all of the Satya Yuga that's still pervading in each yuga is erased. And what will happen then? Will be erased until we go back to Satya Yuga. And it just keeps on cycling like that. What has destroyed tapa? Okay, I'm making this subjective. Outside we see Kali. This person disguised as a king is breaking the legs of this bull. Subjectively, Kali is selfishness. That bull is responsibility or dharma. What stops us from engaging in tapa? Ahankara. The kick that breaks this leg is ahankara. What is the kick that breaks shaucha? Raga, or attachment. So ego, attachment. The kick that breaks daya is kama, or desire. These are the 3 legs that are broken. This is what makes us irresponsible. I'm going to share this in a different framework with all of you. These 4 legs in English are investing, organizing, sharing, dedicating. Tapa means to invest. Invest where? In yourself. Introspection, inquiry. Once you do that, there's shaucha, organizing. You start to organize your inner space, you start to organize your outer space. We did a lot of that in the happiness workshop. I invest in myself, there's more clarity, correct? So organizing, shaucha. Once I'm more organized, daya means sharing. If I'm happy, I can help someone else be happy. If I found a gift, I share that gift then, sharing. And Satya is dedicating. As you're trying to share, there's going to be a lot of people who will tell you you're selfish, you're wrong, don't focus on Bhagavan, focus on your family. We have those pulls. But someone who's focused on the truth, someone who's dedicated, no one can stop them, correct? There may be a step back, but there's no stopping. Dedicating. This is very, very, very important. A lot of the young adults I meet, they have dreams when they're in college. They even get into careers that they like, but very easily, very quickly, they become jaded. They become cynical by the people in the workplace, the politics, the focus on money only, as an example. See, that satya is not there. They're not dedicated to that sharing, to that dream. Yes? Okay. Earlier in this chapter, I'll read Shloka 21, just for your reference. Evam dharme pravadati sa samtran dvija sattama samahitena manasa vikheda paryacheshta tam. We talked about dharma being broken down. In this line, what is shared? Sutta tells all of the people gathered, Rishi Shaunaka, etc., that one should not even describe adharma. Because if you speak it, you have to think it. And if you think it, that means you're living it. Now, we've learned in Ramayana that the greatest papa, the greatest sin is gossip. Correct? Paraninda. That's right. If I speak it, that means I've thought it. If I've thought it, that means I've lived it. That's how careful we have to be with adharma. Leave alone doing it, one shouldn't even think it. So Raja Parikshita takes out his sword and is about to cut Kali, to cut this embodiment of selfishness. And what does Kali do? Falls at the feet of Raja Parikshita and says, Sharanam, Sharanam. I seek asylum. Now, who does this sound like? Ashwatthama, no? Ashwatthama also, most selfish. But like Prince Arjuna forgave, now naturally Raja Parikshita is going to forgive too. And he says, you cannot live in my kingdom. And Kali says, where is your kingdom not? Right? That's like me saying, go anywhere but not earth. Where will you go? So he pauses for a moment and he thinks, okay, here are the 4 places that you can go. Kali, selfishness. You can go where there's dyuta. Dyuta, and I'll explain these. Next is pana, striya, that's number 3. And 4th is suna. Dyuta, papa, striya, suna. Dyuta is where there is gambling. Where there is gambling. Pana, where there is intoxicating. Alcohol, drugs. Striya, please don't take this literally, is where there's lust. I'm trying to think of an ing for that. There's lust, there's sexualizing, there's indulgence, striya. Suna, where there's violence, where there's harm, slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse. So, casinos, bars, brothels, which is the internet now. True? I think the most commonly searched word on the internet is pornography. And what's fascinating about that is that word is searched more in places where there's that suppression. Many countries, that lock all of this down, there's such a whole underground world and network about all of this. And Suna, which is slaughterhouses, there's 7.5 billion people in the world. How many factory farmed animals are there? 75 billion. For every one of us, there's 10 animals that are being created in factories for my consumption, for your consumption, to eat it, to wear it, to use it. And Kali says that's not enough places. There's millions of square kilometers of all of these places, but that's not enough. So he gives the fifth abode, which is gold. Gold. Now I was reading Bhagavatam so much to try to find the word for this, but I can't find it. I almost feel like it's implied. So if you can do some research too, there's lots of words for gold. One of them is kanchan. So see if you can find that word. I tried. Raja Parikshita says, your fifth abode can be gold, where all of these earlier homes are present and more. He says what manifests in gold is anrita. Anrita means lying, deceit. Then what else is there is mada, or arrogance. Kama, lust, desire. Raja, here that means harshness, violence. And vaira, which means having conflict and separation. Before I complete and connect the final dots together. For us to be responsible, we have to invest, organize, share, dedicate. What's being broken is that investing is being broken by ego. I'm already perfect. That organizing is being broken by attachment. I may organize my home, but forget about your home. That daya, that sharing is being broken by desire. Why? There's more joy in keeping than in getting than giving. I read to you that line that says, for someone who's a leader, for someone who's protecting dharma, you cannot give any space to selfishness. You give a little bit of space, it will come back. Ashwatthama was forgiven, he came back. Raja Parikshita, when he's traveling around, what's on his head? Gold crown. Confusion, and that will come again later in the next class. He forgives him and says you can go where there's casinos, bars, brothels, slaughterhouses, and where there's gold. In these places there's anartha, mada, kama, raja, vaira. And now to be very specific about this, tapa is contradicted by pana. When I'm trying to invest in myself, if I drink alcohol, if I do drugs, I automatically become extrovert, correct? We think on Mahashivratri, Bhagwan Shiva smoking his bhang, right? So I should do the same thing. He's intoxicated with devotion. He's in samadhi like Sri Ramakrishna. It's not an external substance. Then, shaucha, or being organized, is destroyed or broken by striya. Striya. I'm trying to get organized in my space, but when I see that attractive person, Ravana is a great example of that. Sri Lanka is a solid place, but that he dropped the ball once. And that too on the gossip of his sister, correct? He's never seen Mother Sita. But his very extrovert sister says, hey loser, how come you're not married to her? And right away that lights him up. And everything burns then. Lanka literally burns. Striya. Then daya is broken by, obviously, suna. How can one be compassionate? How can one be empathetic if one is not thinking about animals, plants, the future? True? And Satya naturally is being broken by Dyuta. Dyuta. In poker, you literally win by lying. Correct? So all of that truth is being broken by gambling, by deceit. This is all happening right now. As in right now in this class in me, correct? You're thinking, yes, this is your biography. What a dense and applicable and visual teaching by Rishi Vyasa with all of us. This is all you have to study in Bhagavata. If we do our introspection detection of this, we will be like Dhritarashtra, Gandhari. We will be free. That gold crown. Raja Parikshita is going to drop the ball. But in him dropping the ball, we get to catch it. And we get to listen to so much because of that. We'll explore that next week.